Well, folks, Dan Bongino is in at the FBI. The outspoken conservative commentator, former Secret Service agent, has now been named the new assistant FBI director. And this is a huge deal. And you're probably wondering, what does this mean for the FBI? What does it mean for American security? But here's the thing. Bongino is no stranger to the spotlight. He has been vocal about the FBI corruption and openly criticized the agency's direction that they've been going for the last decade or so. So why would Trump appoint him to such a high position? We're going to break it down exactly what this appointment means for him to be the number 2 over at the FBI. But before we get into that, a little self-promotion. If you're new to the channel, drop down below, hit that subscribe button, make sure you never miss another video from us in the future. Now, Dan Bongino, why him? Bongino, it's like we're going to just start off. It's a multiple faceted, I don't want to call it equation, but understanding of why he's in this position. First of all, Bongino is no amateur. He spent, a decade? More than a decade in the Secret Service protecting high-profile figures like George Bush and President Obama, and even working with the intelligence agencies. He also has a background in law enforcement that gives him, I believe, credibility to oversee the FBI. The FBI needs someone with real-world experience on the ground, someone who understands how the system works from inside and out, and that's what he is. He is an outside voice coming in to lead. Let's take a look at it from the outside. We've let the bureaucrats run the FBI for decades and decades and decades, and you know what we got out of it? We got out the Russia witch hunt. That's what we got out of it. We got out the DOJ going after President Trump. That's what we got out of it. Something has not been working. We got that the FBI knew that the Hunter Biden laptop was legit for almost a year before it came out. And we all found, and then you have like Politico and Axios saying that it's Russian disinformation. And these top intelligence officials come out and saying that it's Russian disinformation. When the FBI knew the whole time it wasn't. They knew that it was Hunter Biden's. And we know Bongino is a well-known critic of the FBI. Especially, like we said, the way they handled the Hillary Clinton emails and the Russia collusion narrative that was total bogus. Total bogus. You know, you look at Trump's first campaign, he ran on good grounds, but the actual logistics of the campaign were terrible. It's like there were leaks. It's like it was such a leaky campaign. It was not run well. You compare it to his 2024, he ran a well-oiled machine in 2024. It's like that is a good, almost like an establishment Republican campaign was run. That was the machine that he had in 2024. He did not have that machine in 2026, and we could all very clearly see it. And the issue is that the FBI has been politically biased. Now, Trump appointing Bongino really sends a message that Trump is serious about draining the swamp and cleaning up the FBI. And Trump is doubling down on everything he said on the campaign. He's serious about draining the swamp and cleaning out the bureaucrats. So what does he do? He puts RFK Jr. at the head of the Human and Health Service. He puts Tulsi Gabbard as the DNI. He puts someone like Kash Patel leading the FBI. It's like position after position, he's showing how serious he is about draining the swamp. Dismantling the fourth branch of the government. Because the ultimate goal here is to reestablish trust in the Bureau. Getting someone with a conservative law and order approach who's going to hold the agency accountable. And they're going to focus on actual investigations. Not just political, FBI agents working on J6 cases. Which by every legal definition, what happened on January 6th was not an insurrection. Let's just get that out there real quick. You can say what happened wasn't a good look. It wasn't a great day. You can say some of the things Trump said from the day the election was called until January 6th. He said and did some things that were not great. But does it meet the legal standard for insurrection? No, it does not. It's just as simple as that. It does not meet the legal standard for it. But let's be real. Bongino isn't just some law enforcement guy, some political commentator. He's loyal to Trump, and Trump knows that. This appointment shows that Trump is committed to getting people in positions of power who are aligned with his values. This was the issue in Trump's first administration. And I think and maybe he's not looking at Florida for this, but you look at what DeSantis did in Florida. He went in and absolutely gutted the bureaucracy in the Florida state government and appointed loyal people in the government. Because this was Trump's issue during his first term, is he would try and get something done. Let's say he'd pass an executive order. You would have these bureaucrats who would then use the powers that they have to delay implementation or never implement that executive order there. They would, push it through the bureaucratic processes to do it, because ultimately what they were trying to do was stop Trump. He gave them grace. He was nice to them in his first administration. Now he's not so nice to them. We're going to gut the whole damn thing. And it is great. This is what Trump was missing during his first term, was the political appointees, the bureaucrats, the deep state, the fourth branch of government. In order to dismantle the fourth branch of government, you need to take control of it. You need to implement people that are loyal to you and loyal to conservative values at the top of it. And there will be a trickle-down effect. You need to allow someone like Elon Musk to go in, to comb through these records, to make sure that the people who are at the lowest link are still following the executive orders and the will of the President of the United States, which really is the will of the American people, if we're being honest here. And this really, it's a strategic play by Trump. He wants to ensure, between Kash Patel and Bongino, that the FBI becomes more trustworthy, an effective institution that really puts American security first, without political games. We are not here for the political games. And I really think that we are going to see a renewed focus on restoring integrity to the agency. That's what we're going to see in most of these agencies. Don't listen to the left-wing media, how, we have a constitutional crisis here. Okay, you guys might have a crisis because the deep state and the fourth branch of government you spent 50 years building to do the will of the Democrats and ignore the will of the people for 50 years is falling apart. So maybe you guys are in a crisis, but we are nowhere near a constitutional crisis. Let's get one thing straight. We're not going to be focusing on witch hunts. We're going to be focusing on real threats. And we've all been calling for FBI reform for a long time. And this appointment is really the chance to make our wishes reality. We're going to clean house, get rid of the corruption, make sure the FBI works for the people, not the political elite. It's as simple as that. These people must be held accountable, just like in every other department in the United States federal government. They must be held accountable. Trump putting his money where his mouth is, not afraid to take bold steps, even when it comes to a government agency like the FBI. Obviously, the left-wing media, their heads are freaking blowing up at this. They can't believe it. How could you put a conservative right-wing conspiracy theorist at the head of as number 2 at the FBI? Save me the crocodile tears. You guys literally put Rachel Levine, or Levin, however the hell you say your last name, as the number 2 at HHS. Like, give me a break. You guys have no ground to stand on. Our government was run by lunatic transgenders for 4 years. By mentally ill men who shave their head and then wear dresses and steal people's luggage. It's like, that's what it was really about. You guys have zero ground to stand on. So shut the hell up and sit the hell down. That's what I say. Sit down and shut up. You have nothing, not a damn thing. You don't have an ounce of credibility to discuss this. But we're going to see what Bongino brings to the FBI. It's like, I'm really excited. Like I said, very excited to see where the Trump administration is going on a lot of different fronts. The FBI is going to be a big one. We saw how the FBI was handled during the Biden administration, even during the Trump administration. I'm very happy to see, or excited to see, that this ball is getting rolling. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino at the head of the FBI. That's going to wrap things up for today, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to keep coming back for a no-nonsense take on what's going on in the world today. So that's going to wrap things up for today. You guys have a good one.